Today in the crypto space, we see the market taking a bit of a dip. Bitcoin down below the $57,500 mark, and Ethereum down approximately 5 to 6% below that $3,200 level. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are deep in the red, definitely coming down to much lower levels. And of course, now the bears are coming out to play. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about Bitcoin. I want to focus on what's going on with this market. Is Bitcoin going to lead the rest of the crypto space to much lower levels? So you know what, let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities, whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the chat, or you can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with this general market. We do see that overall we do have a lot of red, guys. This is throughout the market, as you can see. Lots and lots of red. And if we start looking at the overall market cap and we start looking at all the other altcoins, we see a lot of red, of course, tons and tons of it throughout the market. Now, the question is, should we be expecting a bounce very, very soon? Now, a recovery obviously is due. A recovery would be awesome to see the crypto space kind of get back into the green and, getting our portfolios absolutely bullish. But here on the channel, we have to stay one step ahead, which means that we got to focus on the market in general. You see that the overall market cap is definitely coming down, rolling over, basically down approximately 5.7%. We see the overall market cap down to about 2.2 trillion. Not a good look, but what's even worse is that we're seeing volume pick up into that move to the downside. So we did break structure. We made we broke below some critical levels of volume, which is means that there's a lot of emotional individuals right now out in the market. However, guys, reality is we did not make a lower low. We are currently at the current level testing the previous low on Bitcoin. And of course, we'll talk about the Bitcoin price in a second. Let's just kind of scroll through the market and kind of see what's going on here. Generally speaking, when Bitcoin does dip, we see that the entire market falls, right? It's not just Bitcoin. And in this case, the total market cap is falling. And this is because, and if we look at the Bitcoin dominance, the reality is the Bitcoin dominance is going sideways. And of course, tonight, live, 7:30 Eastern, guys, join me live and we'll talk about Bitcoin dominance. We'll talk about Ethereum, and that is a great time and place for you to make any requests on any projects you want me to cover. But generally speaking, guys, we do see that Bitcoin rolling over and dragging the rest of the market down, and Ethereum is down ever so slightly more, right? Down an extra 1%, while we see all the other altcoins, pretty much in the same boat, either dipping down a little bit more or maybe a little bit less, but generally speaking, keeping up with Bitcoin's dump, which is unfortunate for the crypto space in general. Now, there's a lot of talk about Mt. Gox and Mt. Gox wallets starting to move and wake up. And now, is there a bit of sell pressure? And there could be. It could be. There's a lot of people that believe that the sell pressure from Mt. Gox is not significant enough to actually cause such a massive dip, right? This could be it. But what I do feel is that ultimately that is bullish. Ultimately, that is bullish. Why? It's because we finally get it out of the system. We finally get this done and over with, where those tokens can hit the market. The Bitcoin bulls can buy it all up and be done with it. We no longer have that lingering, sensation of a potential sell-off coming up at any point. Now, there are some other theories floating, and of course, we'll talk about it tonight. Some bullish theories that could definitely counteract this sell-off. But generally speaking, guys, we're seeing a sell-off. And now the question is, do the bulls come in and start, bidding and buying up on these dips and, you know, accumulating and all that good stuff. Obviously, we're seeing that altcoins are coming down as well, and there's a lot of red throughout the market on the altcoins down. You look at Chainlink down approximately 10.5%. That's a big dip. That's a double-digit dip in one day, guys. You know, that's significant. So as we go down, we have to really keep in mind that the negativity is here. We have to be bearish and bullish in certain conditions, and the question is it time to be a bear? Guys, let's jump right into the charts. I know you want to talk about price action, so let's do it. Let's take a look at Bitcoin, see what Bitcoin is up to. Ultimately, Bitcoin is within a structure, but it is slowly breaking below. Now, earlier on, I did put this horizontal white line that was being respected many times. However, as you can see, the negative pressure, the sell-off continues, and we see that we close daily candles below it. And in fact, we even broke below other critical levels. Let's talk about this in a little bit more detail. Guys, honestly, you know, I remained bullish until we had got invalidated. All of a sudden now we are breaking below lower levels. Now my bullish bias is slowly diminishing to the point that now I have no choice but to start looking for bearish scenarios. And the reason being is because we fell through a volume gap. And this is critical because below these levels, we have very little support. Now we have to have good psychological levels of support. For example, the 200 daily EMA maintaining the trend. We broke slightly below it, guys. Not a good look, not a good look. And now if we start kind of zooming out, we start looking at the fact that we have this legacy trend line that stems all the way from down here, obviously multiple tops. Now we come down and we back test that, you know, previous, trend line and use it for support. And, you know, I don't like diagonals very much, you guys know that, but generally speaking here, guys, it's the 200 that I respect the most. And the fact is that we have good levels of support, much lower levels at about 52k and change, 52k, 52 and a half, more or less, right around this level. This is where I would be interested in seeing the price get, because really this is where we have a node of volume, as you can see. So what does that mean here? That means that literally we can come down to this level, kind of hesitate right around here, and then eventually get that bounce. But what do we do in the meantime? In the meantime, the most bullish thing that we could do is get back into the structure above this level, right? Where all the market participation is, where all the accumulation is. That would be a bullish thing. Right now, not a good look. Breaking down below, closing daily candles. And the only thing that I can say, let's talk about both the bearish and the bullish scenario. Right now, the bearish is that we broke down and we broke below the volume gap. We did not break below the previous low. So it's not too bad because we didn't break below the previous low as we speak. We're battling that. So right now we're testing that previous low. That's a bearish thing, but also could be considered a bullish thing, because what about if we use this as support? What about if we do get the bounce and get right back into the structure? That would be bullish. That would be good. We've done that before, right? So this is something that we need to consider. What about if we close the daily candle above the 200 daily? And that would be also very bullish. So these are kind of things where it's like, yes, it does look bearish, but the bullish scenario could definitely come across, and we could definitely take advantage. Now, one other thing that I want to focus on is the fact is that the volume into this dip is not significant. So who's actually, you know, pushing down the price? Market participation is not there. As you can see, look at the volume, a little node, smaller than this one, smaller than this one, you get what I mean? As we keep on going down or getting into this structure, you know, every time the bears get the ball in their court and they push the price down, in fact, it's a smaller volume. So what that means that market participation is less interested in this dip, which ultimately shouldn't have too much strength. So what I'm worried about is this. I'm worried about that we eventually stay in this bearish stance. Maybe we come up for another lower high, back testing the previous level of horizontal support that we've been talking about quite a bit as resistance. This level right here coming up to about 60,800, 60,500, back testing it, using it as resistance, getting rejection and coming down for another lower low. And at that point, that would be the time to go short. That would be the time if you got into any long positions right into here, green arrow, good risk to reward ratio, and right now you're in the negatives and you want to exit your positions upon the back test, is the time where you should exit, because that's where you can most likely, very likely, get it back into a break-even scenario, right? Because you bought here because of the risk to reward that I've been talking about. Then we come back down, and then if we get a bounce to test the breakout level again, that would be more or less at a break even, and you can mitigate your losses that way. And that's the key here, guys, because if we get rejected at this horizontal, it's likely to come down to about 52k, guys. It doesn't look good, right? The sell-off is there and all of that, but again, is this something that is slightly priced in? This Mt. Gox is not a new story, guys. It's been around forever, right? From the beginning of Bitcoin, we always had a bit of FUD here and there in many narratives, but Mt. Gox has been around for a while, and a lot of people do understand that eventually is going to hit the market. It's very likely, and a lot of people are in some major profits there, and you got to understand that a good portion of them will take profit, but not all of them. There's a good portion of them that might keep and hodl through because, Bitcoin is the future. So the reality is we just got to endure and weather the storm. And of course, if we get in some bearishness throughout the summer, we go sideways throughout the summer, we get into accumulation throughout the summer. That is the test of your true convictions. Coming down to about 42 and then coming down to about, 52, maybe even 42, because that's the next level of a dip. As you can see, coming down to about 44, I stand corrected right here about 44. That's the next level that I'm interested in. If we do not get support at about 52, which is a little bit of a node of volume right here based on this little consolidation, we could come down and use these levels of support in the future. But what's very important that at each level of support, you wait for structure like we did here. You get into a position, you put your stop loss in. If you get stopped out, no big deal, small loss, and then accumulation at the next structure. Eventually, you should be able to catch that bottom by mitigating risk, by getting into positions with calculated risk. There's no trade that has no risk. So we have to understand that there's no trade that has no risk, and the job of a trader is to mitigate the risk, because you, at best, your priority should be to protect your initial investment. You need to protect your initial investment, and the only way to do that is to put that stop loss. So what we have to do now is wait for structure. If we do get a V recovery for whatever reason, some sort of catalyst or whatever happens overnight, you never know. You guys know that. Whatever happens, we get a V recovery. I'm telling you right now, the people that bought in at about 60,800, 60,500 will not regret it. Because V recovery means we're going to get back into structure. No big deal. All is good, right? So reality is there's nothing to worry about, right? If you are in a heavy position, you want to de-risk, maybe waiting for that bounce to see what kind of relief we get, and if we get a rejection. But ultimately, if we get a strong recovery right back into the structure, guys, it's all good in the hood, and it's very likely that we see Bitcoin stay within structure, and potentially maybe this is the last liquidity hunt before we get into a bullish stance once again. But as of now, I am very, hesitant being a bull. I am currently looking for bearish scenarios, and I am in a bearish stance at the current moment because really we came down, guys, and now we have to look out for a bullish response. And if it's a weak one, guys, the trend is your friend. We're coming down to lower levels, guys. If I've offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor. Slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord, guys. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is absolutely free. Join me live tonight at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.